Kicks off with Congressman Phil Hammersley enjoying a peaceful day by the lake with his dog, because nothing says relaxation like a political showdown looming in the background. Just as he's soaking in the serenity, Thomas Reynolds from the NSA shows up, clearly not one for social cues. Their conversation quickly turns into a debate about a bill that would give the government major surveillance powers. Hammersley is not having it. "I'm here to protect the people, not spy on them."
Damn it, I'm talking about my constituents being out of work.
He says, probably wishing he had stuck to feeding ducks that day. Reynolds, on the other hand, tries to sweet-talk him in the name of national security, but Hammersley isn't about to be swayed. Unfortunately, before he can walk away, he's murdered by an NSA agent who clearly didn't get the memo that this isn't a James Bond movie. To make things worse, it's staged to look like natural causes. But guess what? A wildlife researcher's camera catches the whole thing. So, as it turns out, spying on ducks might come in handy after all.
He's behind a family of 4.
We'll have more details.
The researcher, Daniel Zavitz, stumbles upon the footage and immediately realizes something's off. That's one heck of a heart attack. He probably mutters, quickly realizing it's more like murder with extra steps. He rushes to share the footage with a journalist, but not before the NSA's got his number, thanks to his earlier work for them.
I've got the Phil Hammersley murder on videotape. You're kidding me.
Zavitz is speaking to a Lenny Bloom, a former anti-war activist.
They come knocking, and Zavitz decides to play the ultimate game of hide-and-seek, copying the video onto a computer disk and hiding it inside a video game console. It's like a 90s version of Hide the Evidence, and he barely escapes down a fire escape ladder. Too bad the NSA has satellites tracking him, because why wouldn't they bring outer space into a chase on foot? Meanwhile, Robert Clayton Dean, a lawyer with a knack for taking on tough cases, is dealing with his own set of problems. A client of his was attacked by a Mafia boss, Paulie Pintero, and Dean's got Mafia issues on his plate. After a tense exchange at a restaurant, where no one threw spaghetti, sadly, Dean meets his ex-girlfriend, Rachel, who hands him a tape in exchange for some cash. So now he's got a Mafia issue and an ex-girlfriend issue, both equally complicated. Dean confronts Pintero with the tape, which shows him breaking the law. Pintero is not thrilled, but they strike a deal. Pintero will offer better contracts to Dean's clients if Dean gets rid of the tape. It's all business until Pintero, not exactly known for his sense of humor, demands that Dean reveal the source of the tape. He gives Dean a week, like a twisted homework assignment, or else. As Dean leaves, one of Pintero's guys jokes about the FBI watching them from a nearby building. Classic mobster humor, right? Meanwhile, Dean finds himself shopping for lingerie for his wife. Just another day in the life of a lawyer, when he runs into Zavitz, his old college buddy. It's not exactly a reunion for the ages, especially when Zavitz, being chased by NSA agents, casually slips the disc with the murder footage into Dean's shopping bag. Dean's left standing there with lingerie in one hand and a government conspiracy in the other, not knowing the chaos he's about to be dragged into. Zavitz tries to flee, but luck isn't on his side, and he dies in a tragic accident. Dean, still oblivious to the disc in his bag, becomes the NSA's new target when they find his business card on Zavitz's body. The agents, pretending to be local cops, knock on Dean's door, but he isn't having it. Got a warrant? No. Then get off my lawn. He basically says, probably channeling his inner Clint Eastwood. However, that's not the end of it. The next day, the NSA agents break into his house, plant bugs, and spread rumors about Dean having an affair with Rachel. At this point, Dean's life is unraveling faster than a badly knit sweater. Things go from bad to worse. Dean loses his job.
We think that you should take a leave of absence until we're able to sort all this out.
His wife kicks him out, and to top it off, his credit cards are canceled. He can't even check into a hotel. It's like the universe hit the ruin Dean's life button, and it's stuck. He's pretty sure it all traces back to the mysterious tape. He meets up with Rachel, asking her to arrange a meeting with Brill, the elusive source of the tape. Meanwhile, the NSA, always one step ahead, sends a fake Brill to trick Dean into revealing more about the footage. Dean completely falls for the imposter, trusting him like it's a bizarre episode of Candid Camera. But then, the real Brill, actually ex-NSA agent Edward Lyle, shows up and is not exactly thrilled with Dean's mess. "You're in deep, kid," Brill seems to imply as he rips out NSA bugs hidden on Dean. When Dean nervously asks if the Mafia is after him, Brill gives him a look that screams, "You wish," and breaks the news that the NSA has him targeted instead. Things escalate quickly when a helicopter appears on the horizon. Brill, sensing danger, instructs Dean to strip down to ensure there are no remaining bugs on him. So, their Dean is in a rooftop standoff, down to his boxers, because when the NSA's on your tail, modesty is the least of your problems. Before parting ways, Brill warns Dean to keep his distance from both him and Rachel for safety reasons. Alone, Dean stays on the run from the NSA, unaware that tracking bugs hidden in his clothes are letting the agents stay hot on his trail. When he finally realizes it, he strips down in front of a shocked elderly couple, causing an awkward scene. He scrambles across balconies, grabs a robe, and pulls the fire alarm to create chaos. In the confusion, he ends up in an ambulance, quickly snags a police gun, escapes, and slips through a tunnel. To shake off the NSA, he hands his robe to a worker, leaving the agents fuming as they lose him again. Back at home, Dean reassures his wife that the rumors about him and Rachel are just that, rumors. Things calm down, but he then discovers that his son accidentally took the device Savitz had slipped into his shopping bag. He meets his son in the car, retrieves the device, and heads to Rachel's house, only to find she's been murdered and his old clothes are there, framing him for the crime. He also spots a photo revealing that the real Brill was a family friend of Rachel's, deepening the mystery. Dean contacts Brill, who reveals that the NSA killed Rachel to frame Dean and destroy his credibility, making it nearly impossible for anyone to believe him, even if he exposed the truth. While Brill briefly leaves to get food, Dean uses a public phone, unknowingly tipping off the NSA to their location. The agents identify Brill as a former NSA operative, raising the stakes. Brill then takes Dean to his secret hideout, where he's been working in secret for 15 years. They review footage of Congressman Hammersley's murder, uncovering the vast scope of the conspiracy. But before they can act, the NSA tracks them to the hideout, thanks to Dean's call. Agents storm the location, and while Brill and Dean escape, the evidence disk is destroyed in the resulting fire. Undeterred, they decide to take down the corrupt NSA agents and expose the truth. Brill and Dean devise a plan to expose the corrupt NSA agents by targeting Congressman Sam Albert, a supporter of the surveillance bill. They bug his hotel room, catching him in an affair and making sure he realizes he's being watched, with the surveillance traced back to the rogue NSA group. Next, Brill infiltrates NSA head Reynolds' home, disguised as an electrician, planting bugs to fuel Reynolds' paranoia. Reynolds also finds a mysterious $140,000 deposit in his account and receives flowers suggesting an affair, sparking issues with his wife. Hoping to get a confession, Brill and Dean arrange a meeting with Reynolds, but he catches on and captures them. To avoid being killed, Dean claims that the tape they're after is with Mafia boss Paulie Pintero, leading them all to an Italian restaurant already under FBI surveillance. At the restaurant, Dean manipulates the situation, convincing Pintero that Reynolds is responsible for the troublesome tape, while making Reynolds believe the tape relates to Hammersley's murder. Outside, Brill pretends to be sick and uses the opportunity to alert the FBI to what's happening inside. A violent standoff soon erupts between the FBI, the Mafia, and Reynolds' group, resulting in a chaotic shootout where almost everyone is killed. Dean and Brill, however, manage to survive. In the aftermath, the FBI steps in and unravels the conspiracy surrounding the surveillance bill. The remaining members of the corrupt NSA faction are arrested, and the FBI quietly buries the NSA's role in the whole affair. Pintero is framed for Rachel's murder, which clears Dean's name, allowing him to finally return to his family and regain some peace in his life. As for Brill, he vanishes to a tropical paradise, where he sends Dean a cheeky goodbye message by planting a bug in his TV, just a final reminder of his skills.